introduced to the crowd here tonight. And Jordan Wara, of course, headlines the Cardinal attack. And we get a look at the lineups tonight featuring Wara, Sutton. I really like Malik Williams, Corey, and what he does in addition to Quan Four, who's very good defensively, and Cunningham. And then this BC lineup, health has been a concern most of the ACC season for Jim Christian.
But when you look at the lineup, Jordan Chapman back in the lineup after missing their last game. And there's Hamilton right now not in the starting lineup, who has been playing very good basketball. So interesting change from Jim Christian. Got Hamilton into the starting lineup, but I was thinking it would be the younger brother instead of the older brother.
Let's go with the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your local Ford dealer.
Well, for Louisville, they have to find their balance. So 10 made three-pointers in the first half versus Virginia, but 0 points in the paint. They have to be a team that can mix it up. For Boston College, they need Kai being Kai. Kai Bowman, of course, is doing a great job shooting the three, but he needs to be a guy that's attacking the basket and making plays for his teammates as well. I would love to see Kai Bowman get back to being that guy that the ACC fell in love with during this freshman and sophomore season.
Bowman has had big nights this year, Corey. In fact, he's had 5 games of 20-plus against the ACC. But he's got to have some help, right?
He does have to have some help, and Jordan Chapman being back in the lineup is help. Chapman had 21 points versus Louisville in the previous matchup and made 6 three-pointers. But with him on the floor, it opens up driving lanes for Kai Bowman, but also the way Darius Hamilton has been shooting the basketball, he can open up some of those lanes too, which is kind of one of the shocks, that the fact that the younger brother is sitting on the bench while the older brother is starting the game today.
Yep. Jared is the guard in the lineup, the junior transfer, averaging 6.5 points in conference play. Brian Dorsey, Michael Stevens, John Gaffney on the whistle, and away we go here from snowy Boston. And Louisville, Chris Mack's team starts in a man-to-man. And here is Bowman against Quan Four. Popovich, 8 straight double-figure games over the top of Malik Williams.
And that was a great defensive stance by Malik Williams on that possession. We've seen Popovich, raising defenders off the ground and going up and under on them all season long, but Malik Williams stays disciplined, stays down, and makes Popovich take a shot over the top.
Here's Wara against Hamilton. Now Cunningham with Chapman defending. 10 to shoot for the Cards on their opening possession. Sutton trying to find an alley with Bowman. Quickly Cunningham a 3. And left it on the iron. Sutton chases it down. And Williams missed the foul line jumper. Couple of cracks for Louisville. Nothing scored yet here in the first minute. Bowman a 3, knocks it down, and BC on the board first. Kai Bowman's 67th 3 of the year in 173 attempts.
And Wes, that's dangerous, because in this building, you see him come out and knock down the 3 early. he can heat up fast, but when he starts out and he's already hot, normally that means it could be a big night for Kai Bowman.
Wara on the bounce to Williams. Got inside, and an offensive foul is called.
An early foul on Wara with Kai Bowman defending, but you see the push-off there to try to displace Bowman. And that's another one of the areas I love about Kai Bowman. We talk about so much of what he does offensively, but he accepts the challenge defensively. He doesn't have a problem going out defending the best players.
Bowman another one, that time way off.
And it looks as either Quan Four actually got a piece of that one, or he got a piece of Bowman on that shot. No complaint from Kai Bowman, which I'm assuming that means that Four did a great job getting a hand on that basketball.
2 minutes gone, BC the lead. Wara behind the back, got to the basket, draws the foul, and I think that's on Bowman. And Kai Bowman will pick up his first, number 1 on Boston College here in the early going.
And Jordan Wara with a beautiful behind-the-back move and then challenging the rim. And Kai Bowman coming over. And Kai Bowman's one of those guys that, regardless as to whether he's 6'1", 6'2", I'm always in an argument about that, but he still thinks that he's a shot blocker regardless. And then that play, and Bowman now picking up that first foul early in this game within the first 2 minutes. That's something you also have to keep an eye on, because he's the one guy that, of course, Boston College can't afford to not have on the floor. Jim Christian found that out the game that Bowman didn't start at Syracuse, and they were down 12-0 before he could get him in the game.
Look at Bowman all the way to the basket. Popovich a rebound, stripped of it by Dwayne Sutton. A hit for Cunningham. Couldn't get through against Mitchell. Back for the Williams three. And Chapman clears the miss. Here's Mitchell in traffic, can't finish. Louisville doesn't mind this transition, do they?
No, they do not. Louisville definitely loves to play this way if they can. Great defensive possession once again by Bowman, just taking the ball from Sutton, which is not easy to do.
Bowman trying to get some help at the top. Here's Chapman against Cunningham. And pulled away by Jordan Wara.
That's just a forced shot by Chapman right there. That's one you keep the basketball moving and get a better shot for your team.
Williams, and an offensive foul going to be called as Stephon Mitchell stepped in.
Love Stephon Mitchell. Always making winning plays, stepping up, taking the charge, and recognizing exactly where he was, getting his feet outside the restricted area. Malik Williams kind of pled guilty on that one. He should have just went on up with the shot. Maybe that whistle wouldn't have been blown. It was a late call.
So the foul on Williams is his first. 2 already on Louisville in a 3-1 ball game. Kind of a balky start. Here's Jared Hamilton. 7 to shoot. Mitchell. Now Popovich way out. And the Wara rebound. Jordan Wara had 32 the first time they met. A double-double with 10 rebounds. And an offensive foul.
And that's going to be the second on Wara. We talked about that first possession where he got an offensive foul. And then this one, going to the paint, Jordan Chapman does a good job getting his body in front. And you see that left arm extend of Jordan Wara. Just like that, Louisville's leading scorer on the bench. And Corey, here comes B.J. King into the ball game to spell Wara. As you see, Luke Murray bend the ear of Jordan Wara after the 2 fouls. So B.J. King, who did not play at all in the home loss to Virginia on Saturday at the Yum Center, into the lineup as Bowman is long with the 3, and here's Sutton. And I think that B.J. King is going to be necessary for this Louisville team to make a run into March. He's really the one guy that had experience with this team coming into this year and was a starter at the beginning of the season and a veteran presence for the Cards. I think it's important for them to get him back into the mix. Love the fact that Chris Mack going with King once Wara picks up those fouls early.
And here comes Stephen Enoch into the ball game. And he'll give Malik Williams spot for Coach Mack. And there's the quick entry, the basket for Enoch, and the foul. And the foul is on Popovich. It'll be his first and the second now on Boston College. Enoch the hoop.
And we've seen a number of whistles blown here early, and you see Popovich is out of position. That is a foul on Enoch's back, giving Enoch the easy layup and the opportunity for the and one. But Popovich actually was playing very well against Clemson on Saturday until he got into foul trouble in the first half. That was the difference in that game. When he had to exit the game, Clemson took over. Same thing when he fouled out late into the game.
Enoch couldn't finish it, so we're tied at 3. 4 minutes in here in Chestnut Hill tonight. 3 ball, too strong.
He who hesitates is lost, Wes. That's one at Popovich. If you're going to shoot it when you catch it. Don't hesitate.
B.J. King missing with the driving right hand. Both these teams are just free-flowing right now, Corey. Not a lot of organization in the half court. Bowman will fall away. Rattles in.
And that's where Kai Bowman is able to use his strength and athleticism over smaller guards. Quan Ford, very good defender, but at Bowman's mercy when Bowman gets that close to the basket.
King, who has struggled to shoot the ball all year. Really been a battle for the young man, junior from Cleveland.
You're talking to their coaches, they have really been impressed with the way that B.J. King has handled his playing time in this situation all season long.
That ball got knocked away and last touched by BC. It'll stay with the Ville.
But when you can't get all the way to the basket, Wes, sometimes it's just a little bit of a post-up. Kyle with a little shimmy. The turnaround to give BC the 2-point lead.
Welcome back to Chestnut Hill with Corey Alexander, West Durham, and our hearty star to watch. Even though he's saddled up here with a couple of early fouls, Jordan Wara has been very impressive in ACC play.
He has been extremely impressive and most likely the most improved player in the ACC this season. Second nationally in scoring increase up to 11.6 points per game. I'm not sure how much about a star we're going to be able to watch here in the rest of this first half, though, with 2 fouls. Going to be interesting to see how Chris Mack approaches. I'm sure he will get Jordan Ward back into the game during the first half for short stretches to keep him in rhythm for the second half, but not going to be much time for Ward for the remainder of this first half.
No offense to Ahmad Clark of the Great Danes of the U-Albany. And no offense to Tyshawn Alexander.
Wait a minute now. You know that's my young fella. Wait a minute.
Tyshawn?
Yes, that's Oak Hill, baby. Come
okay, but Jordan Ford of St. Mary's, they're not playing the slate that Jordan Ward is.
No, I agree with that, and I'm with you.
That's all I'm saying. I know Tyshawn, you got it. Oak Hill Warrior. I get it.
Oak Hill Warrior right there now. And he got a great last name. Love it.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable. Of course, all Alexanders are great. And you heard? In history, it's been that way.
Well, you know, I got a couple cousins that I'm not going to put that on, so I'm not going to say all.
Enoch. The miss and Bowman the rebound. Good heavens. 5.5 gone in a...
Wes, you see right here, Kai Bowman has V.J. King guarding him at the top of the key. This is one where, in my opinion, only my opinion, I think Kai Bowman should tell everybody to get out of the way. I'm going to take this guy to the basket instead of allowing the defense to set up and getting a better defender in Quan 4 guarding.
Here's 4. Bowman squeezes the trigger. And a missed jump shot rebounded by Sutton. Louisville has looked to push it at every available chance here in the first almost 6 minutes of play. Cards trail a basket. Big ball game for Louisville. Obviously, Boston College of the teams who are slated right now to be playing in Charlotte on Tuesday. And there's King hitting the 3, the 4th 3 of the year for V.J. King.
Well, and Wes, V.J. King, you know, came out of high school a big-time scorer, but a guy that got to the free throw line a lot, put a lot of pressure on the opponents by getting to the line. Always a capable shooter, but more of a scorer. And you see right now, of course, you're talking about a McDonald's All-American, struggling to get playing time for Louisville, but I think that he can definitely benefit this team as they get later into the season, especially because of his experience.
John Carlos Reyes, little soft hook off the baseline.
And I think Reyes does a great job coming in, spelling Popovich, and giving Jim Christian very good minutes. Has scored the ball really well, but he's gotten his opportunities as of late.
Reyes, who had an outstanding ACC tournament a year ago in Brooklyn, went double figures in their win against NC State at the Barclays Center, has had a very nice redshirt junior season here at Chestnut Hill. 5 to shoot. Louisville trailing a point. Here is King. Back for 4 with 1. King cuts it loose, and it's a shot clock violation. Shot attempt won't count. But BC, a good defensive stop, Corey, after the Reyes basket.
Yeah, Reyes done a great job against Enoch. A very good post defender, but using Enoch's body against him. The nice spin away from the basket. Jump hook from about 6 to 7 feet right there. Nice touch by Reyes, but I'm even more impressed with the defensive effort on Kai Bowman on that last possession. Wes, he tried to take a charge, didn't get it, but never looked at the officials and complained, got up immediately, went out, contested V.J. King, and it ends up being a shot clock violation because he didn't give up on the play.
5th turnover of the first half on Louisville, only 1 for BC. Chris Herring Jr. on the floor for the first time, as is Jarius Hamilton. There's Chapman off balance, and the rebound for King. V.J. King having to play some big minutes here. Jordan Ward, the early 2 fouls in the game's first 3.5 minutes. Enoch. Boy, he is a load now.
And he remembers Reyes scored on him earlier. And that's the only thing going through Enoch's mind was the fact that Reyes scored on him earlier. He was not happy about that, and so he was going to get a shot on that attempt. It didn't matter who double-teamed, who came down there. He was going to get a look.
Stephen Enoch now with 4. Louisville back in front. Bowman, nice pass. Reyes the catch and the layup. Boy, Kai Bowman showed you a little of everything here.
He is, and of course, Kai Bowman is the one guy, I'm sure, in the ACC that when he comes off a screen and roll, it's always going to be a trap. Everybody has different packages as how they defend, but teams, when they play Boston College, they want to get the basketball out of his hands. So he's always going to get trapped. Does a great job finding Reyes. Between 2 defenders, you see the attention that he brings, and you see a beautiful dime to Reyes, who gives BC the 1-point lead.
Boston College, the 1-point lead. The Eagles are 3-3 against the conference here at home. And our Honda Startup brought to you by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. John Carlos Reyes, a couple of baskets off the bench.
Reyes done a great job with the jump hook. Seeing the way that Enoch was defending him and then finding the open spot after the screen for Kai Bowman. And with the double team going to Bowman, Reyes a willing recipient off of a beautiful feed. A nice touch to finish it off. And Reyes actually played well against Clemson as well. Started out 3 for 3 in that game. And doing a good job of coming in and spelling Popovich when he got in foul trouble. And now just giving solid minutes for Jim Christian.
Louisville starters do not have any field goals. Jordan Wara, who is back on the floor now, has a free throw. The baskets have come from Enoch and King here so far in a very, very sluggish start really for both schools, but probably much more concerning for Louisville. And there's King. Missed everything. Shot clock was running out again. And Chris Mack has got to be a little disgusted with his team's own problems here, Corey. Not as much what BC's, who has done some nice things, but Louisville's hurt themselves here, self-inflicted things.
They really have. And Wes, you know, this is a Louisville team, of course. We've seen them go beat North Carolina at the Dean Dome, but we've also seen them lose to Pittsburgh on the road. So, you know, Chris Mack, I'm sure, concerned about which team he's going to see show up for the road here tonight. And thus far, it hasn't been their best version of the Cardinals.
Cards have 6 turnovers. BC with 1. Chris Herron Jr. a 3. His 22nd triple of the year. And the Eagle lead grows to 4.
And that's my young fella right there. Mistake by McMahon, though. You got to recognize Chris Herron is looking to fire from beyond that arc. Better shooter than his dad, by the way, too. I hope Big Chris is at home listening. Young fella's got you. No, Chris Herron Sr. had a lot of handle, had a lot of tricks with that basketball. But I'm going with the young fella for the better shooter.
Here's Malik Williams. Strong drive with the left hand. It rolled off. Tried to get the rebound and draws the Boston College foul. It's on John Carlos Reyes. 3rd on the Eagles, 1st on Reyes. And here is Malik Williams to the line, sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Introducing Pegasus, a next-generation all-in-one work table and clamping system.
Williams 65% on the year. Louisville is the best shooting basketball team in the ACC in conference play at almost 78%.
And Louisville on pace to break a school record. And you're talking about not just an average program. You're talking about a great basketball program. So whenever you're going to make a team, break a team record, you're doing something. And they're great at the free throw line. And it's definitely a benefit and an advantage to be able to have that, especially at the end of the game.
Yep. 2-point lead for Boston College after Williams got them both. Darius Perry's come in wearing number 2 for the Cards. Got a hand up on the Bowman 3 that missed everything.
But with Louisville switching and Kyle Bowman having Jordan Wara guarding him, Jordan Wara, of course, with the 2 fouls, again, it's another scenario where Kyle Bowman has to recognize that and say, everybody get out of my way. I'm going to take this guy to the basket. If he puts his hands on me, he's going to pick up a foul and go sit down. Otherwise, I'm getting to the rim or find a shooter.
Herron drew the foul there, so baseline out of bounds. McMahon, and he stepped out over in front of the Eagles bench. Corey, when you want Bowman to go to the basket here, is it something that should trigger for him? Does he just need to count the floor?
He does, but more importantly, when he has a mismatch. We've seen him with B.J. King guarding him, who's actually guarding him right now. We've seen him with Jordan Wara guarding him off of a switch. Neither of those guys, and there's no disrespect to them because there are very few people that can stay in front of Kyle Bowman, but those 2 guys at small forward position can't stay in front of Kyle Bowman. He needs to be aggressive, attacking the basket the same way Jordan Chapman was there, finding Popovich.
First field goal for Nick Popovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And the BC lead grows to 4.
How long did you have to rehearse to be able to say that? I mean,
he's from Banja Luka, by the way, in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You say that so eloquently.
Well, you know, it's part of the job, I think.
That was a beautiful find by Darius Perry. Malik Williams not ready for it. Ends up being a turnover, but there's nothing Perry did wrong on that play.
Bowman leaves it for Jarius Hamilton's 3. And collected by the Cards. Hamilton, as Corey noted early, coming off 17 and 6 at Clemson the other day. McMahon missed the 3. The battle won by Wara, who scores on the stick back. First field goal for the Buffalo sophomore, Jordan Wara.
Really impressed with what Jordan Wara has done this year in transforming his body, to be able to play at the level he is on both ends of the floor. But his rebounding numbers have been off the chart. I mean, I knew he could always score, especially shoot the basketball, but the way he's rebounded has been tremendous this season.
Bowman a long 2. And Williams another rebound. Boy, Malik Williams, despite the turnover down low a moment ago, is off to a pretty good start here.
He really is. And Malik Williams is one of those guys you talked about. There are very few teams that have the level of post presence that the Louisville Cardinals have. When you think about Williams as a starter and then coming off the bench with Enoch, both those guys are tremendous players, and they do a really good job of tag teaming and not getting, upset about the other success.
Popovich missed everything there, and Jarris Hamilton kept it alive. Shot clock didn't reset, though. 10 to shoot for Bowman.
Beautiful find.
Skip for Herron. Spins out and the rebound for Warren.
And that's the right play. Great shot from Herron, but more importantly, Kyle Bowman making the right play, seeing the traffic in the paint, knowing that he had a shooter open on the wing.
Boston College will pay attention to McMahon. Perry. A little stop and start and a fall away over Chapman. 7.5 to go. Only 26 total points here in the ball game so far. Bowman with 12 to shoot here, Corey. And Chapman a 2. Jordan Chapman on the board.
Nice action there from Boston College. The flare screen for Chapman, but he actually doesn't use it. As it was called out from the Louisville defenders, they knew what was coming. Chapman readjusts and finds a nice bucket.
3 ball from Williams. Hamilton tried to keep it alive. Last touch by Wara. And that'll send us to a break. Here at the Conti Forum tonight in Chestnut Hill. Boston College, a 4-point advantage. 4-point lead for Boston College. How about a check of some of these upcoming schedules? I mean, we're down to the last, 10 days of the regular season, and it's brought to you by North Myrtle Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau. Louisville has one of the more interesting finishing kicks. Notre Dame at home Sunday afternoon, and then 6 days before they finish at Virginia.
And going to be senior night in Virginia. That's going to be a tough contest there for the Cards. Jack Salt playing his last game, and then BC,
Georgia Tech, Carolina here, and then NC State here. Remember overtime a week ago against Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack for Jim Christian's team.
And just like we're seeing right now against Louisville, BC definitely better against teams the second time they had the opportunity to play against them.
Here's Jared Hamilton will pull up. And we get a whistle and a foul. And I think it's on Dwayne Sutton that it is. It'll be the first on the junior from Louisville, 4 on the Cardinals. And here is Jared Hamilton. This is the older of the Hamilton brothers. Young man who started his career at Jacksonville State and then went to Georgia Southern, and now here at Boston College, and the first one good.
I tell you, the Hamilton brothers played very well when they hit the Carolina area at NC State and at Clemson last week. Both guys performing very well on the road. Got a chance to see Dad, talk to him a little bit. Happy to see his boys playing well.
Jared turns 24 on Saturday, the older of the two. Got both free throws. The lead's 6 now for the home team. Cunningham. Whoa, Enoch, great catch and score. Great look by Kristen Cunningham, one of the things you talked about at the top.
That's what he does. He finds his teammates, and of course, when you're big and you play with a guard like Kristen Cunningham, it makes you cut harder, screen harder, roll faster, because you know you're going to get the basketball, similar to the beautiful find that Kyle Bowman just dropped on Nick Popovich.
Ryan McMahon commits the foul. 6-foot kid out of Sarasota went chopping.
And that's just a nice play from Bowman right there, recognizing there really was not a screen, but Enoch was playing a screen. Popovich slips it, and Bowman puts the pass right on the dime. Popovich gets fouled, unable to finish it, but gets the opportunity at the free throw line to add points to the BC lead.
Nick is a 71% free throw shooter. And here comes Quan 4 back in the game. Wait a second now. BC's Louisville had 6 out there. You can't do that. So Darius Perry. So I guess I'm out.
At that point, when you know you have 6, it's whoever's closest to the sideline better get off the court.
I'm not sure Darius was buying the fact that he was supposed to come out. And here's Jordan Chapman returning as Popovic got one of the two. BC's lead is 5, and Corey, the temperament of this game probably favors the Eagles at this point, doesn't it?
I believe it does, and especially when you think about what they've been able to do defensively. And right now, with Jordan Ward going to the rim, he has to be careful. You saw him lower the shoulder there, really to create the contact. Playing with 2 fouls, has to be very careful attacking the basket. But Jordan Chapman, which you don't see often, you see most of his damage from beyond the arc. But this time, Jordan Chapman finding his way to the rim and able to finish over the top. See, Jordan Ward got to be careful. You see, lowers that shoulder, gets Chapman out of the way, forced it not to be called for that 3rd foul. If I'm Chris Mack and I see that play, I may have to get more out of the game and remind him that he's playing with 2 fouls.
5 for Chapman. The lead is 8.
And Wes, you mentioned that Jared Hamilton is about to turn 24. Not sure how old Jordan Chapman is now.
He's 25.
Okay, 25. Yeah. So you got 2 guys that, you know, I might have played against back in my days.
Stop. You were doing fine until you went there.
Well, they say you got to get old in ACC, and so Jim Christian doing that with these 2 guys on the floor.
Enoch's got 8. Stephen Enoch, the junior transfer from UConn, is the ball game's leading scorer on his 4th field goal. Still a 6-point Eagle lead, though, and Bowman. Here we go under 5 to play in the first half. Kai Bowman has had a relatively quiet first half from a scoring perspective. And the runner rolled off and last touched on a reach in by Mitchell, so it will stay with the Cards. And you can just tell across the way that Chris Mack in his first season at Louisville, this team has lost 2 straight, 4 of 5. If you follow the Cards story, all of them, the one win even had, you know, a little drama in it. And you know about the loss to Duke, the overtime loss at Florida State, the 10-point halftime lead Saturday to Virginia. Cardinal fans don't need to relive it. But, Corey, mentally, they've got to get through that wall. And right now, they might be having a hard time just simply creating their own momentum on the road in a 9 o'clock start and a game that's kind of sluggish, to be honest.
I do believe that's the case. You know, one of the things, you're not going to shoot the basketball as well on the road that you do at home. We talked about them making 10 3-pointers in that first half versus Virginia, but they struggled to score only 15 points in that second half.
Yep.
And right now, Louisville finding it difficult to score against Boston College. Not a very good defensive team, but playing very good defense here thus far in those first 16 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Eagles will give the ball away on the missed jump shot. And Jim Christian's going to get Jarius Hamilton back into the ball game. And he'll replace older brother Jared. So Jarius Hamilton with Kai Bowman, Mitchell, Chapman, and Popovich. Enoch on the floor with Dwayne Sutton, Jordan Ward, Christian Cunningham, and Quan Ford. And 4 minutes to go in this first half, and a foul over the top on Jarius Hamilton. It'll be his first. That's 5 now on Boston College. And get us to a timeout. 4 minutes even to play. First half action at Chestnut Hill continues in a moment. Well, we're headed to the last week of the regular season, and our ACC Hoops coverage will be at PNC Arena next Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Only meeting of the regular season between the Ramblin' Wreck and the Wolf Pack. Josh Pastor and Georgia Tech and NC State. All right, we're headed down this precarious road of March. NC State, in, out, work to do.
In.
Clemson,
Work to do.
big games coming up for the Tigers?
They are. They actually, and I said on Saturday, they had to win out. They were able to beat Boston College on Saturday.
Right.
They won tonight at Pittsburgh.
Yes, they did.
Next up, North Carolina on Sunday. On Saturday. I'll be there for that game. I believe they head out on the road again before they get Syracuse at home. If they're able to get North Carolina and Syracuse, then they have those quality wins necessary to be an at-large bid.
Tigers were 14-point winners tonight in game 1 of our doubleheader at Pittsburgh. Heron tried to flip it through a double team and taken away by the Cards. Haven't been many open floor miscues by BC, but let's see if Sutton makes them pay, and he does. Dwayne Sutton's first basket, 10th best three-point shooter in the league, is his 42nd triple of the year.
And I love the way this young man has improved his game since coming to Louisville, of course, UNC Asheville as a freshman. Strong freshman year, but then coming back home playing for the Cards, and really their most reliable player. And the reason why he's their leader in minutes, Chris Mack keeps him on the floor.
Cards trying to make a rush here in the last 3 minutes, trailing 3. Got the Sutton goal. A moment ago on the 3. Ford tried to get it to Enoch. Louisville comes in averaging almost 73 points a game in the league. No look, Cunningham to Enoch for the dunk. 10 for Stephen Enoch, his third double-figure game in the last 9 for Chris Mack.
A nice drop-off there by Cunningham. With you mentioned, it looked off the defense to not even giving the hint that there was a player back there, then dropping it right into the pocket.
Bowman crashed through, offensive foul, and number 2 on Kai Bowman with 2:30 to go in the half.
And Kai Bowman, just one dribble too many, does a great job attracting VJ King. That's where he has to basically kick that one to the corner to Heron, and then you see Cunningham, and you see the eyes moving to the top of the key, but the ball dropping off under the basket to Enoch, who was able to finish it off.
1-point game with 2.5 to go after Bowman's second foul.
But Bowman has spaced his fouls out. He got one early, and now he gets one with 2.5 minutes remaining, and because of that, you see Jim Christian go to the zone to make sure he protects Bowman, but there was never a thought of coming out of the basketball game. Now, if they get a break with the ball on the defensive end, I mean, they're on defense at the end, he may take them out for that, but otherwise, Kai Bowman will finish this half with 2 fouls.
Williams trying to find room against Reyes, who's returned to the lineup in replace of Popovich. 2 minutes to go, 15 to shoot, 4 going to launch. And the rebound for Bowman. The best rebounding guard the league has. Chapman a 3 in transition. Spins out. Cunningham trying to create numbers. King a catch and shoot 3. And run down again by Bowman. Bowman trying to find the alley. Leaves it for Jared Hamilton. And Sutton on a run out. Got the rebound and the layup.
You wanted to say the dunk, but it didn't happen for Sutton. But Kai Bowman penetrating, does the right thing, kicks to the corner. The shot goes up. Jordan Chapman, the opposite side wing, has to be the guy getting back on defense. There was no balance on the floor defensively, so that long rebound leads to Sutton getting an easy bucket without anyone getting back on defense for the Eagles.
So Sutton's got 5 of Louisville's last 7. It's a 9-0 run. And the Cards in front. Don't forget Hardy's halftime report coming up. We'll look at the 2 ball games played before us tonight in the ACC. A look at the standings, which changed dramatically last night, and also a review of the first half stats. And some of those are liable not to be very pretty after the opening 20 here tonight at the Conti Forum. So out of the timeout, Mitchell, Bowman, Reyes, Chapman, and Jared Hamilton on the floor for BC. And no changes for Louisville with Sutton, Williams, King, Quan Four, and Kristen Cunningham here in the final 87 seconds. Kai Bowman. Reyes with 12 to shoot, trying to find a room against Williams. Fall away, Reyes. No, Williams a rebound. Cunningham. Oh, what a look for King. VJ King, a little soft runner, can't finish.
You can tell VJ King right now not in much of an offensive rhythm. Having a hard time outside of the 1 3-pointer, getting anything to go in his favor on the offensive end of the floor.
Corey, I got Bowman unofficially 2 for 10 here in this first half.
Well, and again, he's had to take some tough shots, and some of them he didn't have to take. Knocked down his first 3, and normally that means he's going to have a big night, but give Louisville credit for really doing a good job on Bowman, especially trying to keep him out of the lane.
BC can hold here for the last shot. Mitchell looks like the guy who maybe is the screener here for Bowman, and he is.
There's going to be a switch, and Bowman has to be able to attack King.
3 to shoot. Bowman, step back over the top of King. Followed by Hamilton is short. And Kyle Bowman looks like he might walk off a little bit of a cramp here as this first half ends. Louisville, who trailed, went on a 9-0 run, Corey, in the last 5:38, and the Cards going to take a 1-point lead to the locker room. Stay tuned. Hardy's halftime report coming up from Chestnut Hill. Well, Louisville's got a 1-point lead, and you see Luke Murray, one of Chris Mack's top aides, talking to Kristen Cunningham, and you see Jordan Wara and Kristen Cunningham have combined for 3 points in this first 20.
But Cunningham has done a very good job distributing the basketball. So as a point guard, oftentimes scoring doesn't have to be your only contribution to the game. He's done a very good job with that. Jordan Wara, of course, the leading scorer for the Cards, got those 2 fouls early, taking away his aggressiveness. But we will see him very aggressive here in the second half.
Cards with the ball, the 1-point advantage, and away we go in half 2. Cunningham skips for Dwayne Sutton's high-arcing 3. Bowman the backside rebound. Ty Bowman's first half, just 5 points on 2 of 11 shooting. Chapman a little scoop with the right hand. And Malik Williams tracks down that rebound. At least in the first 2 trips, Louisville looks like they got a little bit more sense of urgency about it.
Well, I'm sure that was sparked by Chris Mack's halftime speech to them.
You think it was a one-way conversation?
I do believe so. I don't believe anyone that wanted to speak up in defense of what he was saying. I think everyone agreed.
Yeah. Hamilton, that fell off the front rim. Mitchell got the deflection out front, right back at him. And Sutton the rebound on that miss.
Wes, we've seen Malik Williams actually affect 2 separate shots already here in this second half without blocking the shots, but just the presence of him being down there. 1.3 block shots per game, 10th in the ACC. And Boston College defenders on the offensive players, knowing he's there, deterred their shots.
Williams at 3. And he finally bounced in.
But see, the reason why I bounced in is because Malik left his follow-through up, Wes. He kept the follow-through up all the way back to half court, making sure that the shot went down. When as many times as it rolled around the rim, the scorekeeper might have forgot who made it.
6'11" Malik Williams with his 23rd 3 of the year. He's got 5 in the game to lead 4 for the Cards.
I can appreciate that. Leave it up there, shooter. Let him know.
2 minutes gone here in the second half. Williams with Popovich on the bounce here at the block. Little up and under with the left hand for Nick Popovich.
A crafty move there by Popovich.
Cancels out a 12-0 run by the Cards. Wara triple. And Sutton the backside rebound. Right back to Jordan Wara, who's fouled by Jared Hamilton. First on Hamilton, first on the Eagles here in half 2.
Offensive rebound, and we talked about the rebounding advantage for the Cards in the first half. Out-rebounded Boston College by 10, and you see Louisville on the offensive rebounding effort once again. Jordan Wara getting to the free throw line off the beautiful pass from Sutton.
Jordan Wara played for his dad, Alex, on the Nigerian national team last summer, averaged 22 points a game. The most interesting international basketball played last summer for the Louisville Cardinals was by Stephen Enoch as a member of the Armenian national team, Corey. He gained dual citizenship to play basketball for the Armenian national team.
Wow. Well, you know, one thing, Wes, and again, those repetition and the opportunity to be able to play during the summer and get live game action, especially for Enoch, who missed all last year, sitting out after transfer from UConn, I'm sure it really helped him get prepared for the season. And you know Jordan Wara's experience over the summer definitely did.
Cunningham, a kick out for 4. And Mitchell, a rebound with Williams. And a Hill ball will send it to Boston College. So a 3-point lead for Louisville on 4 second-half points here in the first 3 minutes of play. And here comes the aforementioned Stephen Enoch back into the ball game for Louisville to replace Malik Williams. And there is the member of the FIBA Under-20 Armenian national team. It's a great story. I mean, when you think about just dual citizenship and you're allowed to. And Enoch was quoting also, he said, one day I'd like to visit Armenia.
Wait a minute.
I'm telling you. So he hasn't been. Loophole, as they say.
Yes, I would definitely call that a loophole. That's a beautiful move by Jordan Wara. And Wara, who does, a lot of damage from beyond the arc, but it really has improved his game, putting the basketball on the floor, making plays at the rim.
Well, timeout for Jim Christian. Jordan Wara has got 3 here in the second half. 6 in the ball game. The lead is 5 for the Cards.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC. Geico. New York Life. Bojangles Famous Chicken and Biscuits. Food Lion. And Toyota.
Well, here tonight in Chestnut Hill, 5-point lead for Louisville. Cards on a 15-2 run, stretching over 9 minutes. And now, all of a sudden, Louisville seems to have momentum for really the first time tonight.
Well, they do, but when you look at Kyle Bowman attacking the basket, and I'm not really sure what the plan was from Louisville out of that timeout, if they were planning on trapping, but a great read by Bowman to get ahead of steam toward the basket, finding Popovich for the dunk.
Here's Enoch back to work on Nick Popovich with the left hand, and the roll for Stephen Enoch. He's got a dozen on 6 field goals tonight.
And right now, when he catches the ball in the post, I may consider trapping him, especially when you have Quan Four on the floor, who's not a knockdown shooter. Christian Cunningham can make threes, but they don't really scare you from beyond the arc. You may have to double team Enoch when he gets the basketball that low.
Here goes Popovich with 4 on him, and that was an easy win for the Eagles there.
I was about to be upset with Popovich had he thrown that basketball out. You got a mouse in the house, you got to take advantage of it.
1-2-2 set here from a defensive alignment by Jim Christian's club. There's Sutton trying to use the Enoch screen. Got into a nice pass. Enoch went for the flush. And Popovich, his second foul, number 2 on the Eagles. Come on now. Big game hunting at the rack tonight, Corey.
Absolutely. Nice find from Sutton there. Enoch going up with mean intentions. That's a great.
Louisville's best threat tonight inside has been Stephen Enoch, and he's the subject of tonight's Toyota Let's Go Places.
And Enoch coming off the bench, averaging over 9 points a game over the last 14 games for Louisville, has not disappointed here tonight. The bench gets 28 points per game, and Enoch already 12 of those on his own. Doing a tremendous job operating in the post.
He's going to get a couple of free throws as we come back to live action. You see Enoch go to work on Popovich here with the left hand and get the friendly bounce. So he's got a dozen and a chance to add to the tally here and gets his 13th point. Corey, I said double figures in just 2 of the last 8 coming into tonight. He was 1 of 10 against Virginia and 4 of 20 from the floor in recent play.
He struggled over his last couple of games and really finding his opportunities, but a lot of that has to do with the fact of the way defenses are guarding him. And we talked about Louisville making those 10 threes in the first half versus Virginia, because they were going to help post trap and take away Enoch, not give him those opportunities. He had to give up the basketball, and Louisville was able to take advantage of it in the first half, unable to make those shots in the second half. Part of the reason why Virginia outscored them 37-15 in the second half of that game.
Lead is 5 for the Cards. Chris Herron Jr. on the floor with Chapman, Bowman, Jarris Hamilton, and Popovich. There's Chapman on the runner. And the Cards cards crash the glass. And here's Wara. Quick lead for Cunningham. Slip it to McMahon. Now Wara attacks. Look at this. Step back three. And inside, B.J. King the rebound. Well done by King.
Another offensive rebound for Louisville and an opportunity for McMahon, unable to finish it. But you see the cards all over the glass. If not for the best rebounding guard in the country, they would have gotten another opportunity.
Bowman. Herron, little spot up. Boy, Chris Herron Jr. is going to be a nice player here at Boston College.
I believe so. And, of course, right now just dealing with the freshman ups and downs in Boston College. Now, I'm not sure how you lose that guy. Steve Enoch just gets behind the defense. No one back there to even defend him at the rim. The easiest bucket of the night.
16 now for Enoch. No look. Popovich the catch and score.
Ty Bowman doing a very good job operating out of that trap at the top of the key when he uses the screen. And Louisville's got to get someone in rotation to take away the big. Popovich got a number of easy buckets as well off of that pick and roll.
Enoch is one off his season high at 17 in the win at Chapel Hill. Jump hook bounced away. 3-point game with 13 and a half to go here tonight. Bowman. Woo. Look at that, and fouled by King on the way up. Ty Bowman gave you all of it there.
Well, lost the basketball at the top of the key. Great ball handling ability to be able to regain it. But you see Bowman wanting to attack B.J. King and still with the quickness to be able to get past King, drawing the foul, getting to the free throw line. But, you know, opponents are going to put a bigger defender on Kai Bowman. He has to be able to attack those guys and get past them and get to the rim, because there's no way you can put small forwards on Kai Bowman and stop him from getting to the rim.
I can sign 12 autographs in 6 seconds. So reminding you to check your battery this fast? Easy.
First one is good. I look at Bowman, and it's fitting we're having this kind of conversation with the NFL Combine this week. I don't have as much idea of how he'll be evaluated in an NBA Combine, but there is no better athlete now at his size.
Well, no, I agree wholeheartedly. And again, you know, I've talked with a number of NBA scouts regarding Kai Bowman. The one thing that they love most about Bowman is, and you know, I mean, and no slight to Boston College and the Eagles,
sure,
but this is not the most talented team that he could be on.
Right.
But regardless, night in, night out, you get 100% from Kai Bowman.
That's it.
And that's what, you know, NBA people love the most about him. He is an NBA player. This is most likely his last season at Boston College. Of course, he's a junior, could come back for another, but I believe he will be a first-round pick in this upcoming NBA draft. But you even look at that right there. A bad shot by Chris Herron. Kai Bowman immediately goes over, daps him up. You're okay, you're fine. You know, I mean, again, that's not the shot we need right now, but he's not acting like a spoiled brat and yelling. He's being a very good teammate and being a point guard, encouraging his teammates.
Enoch inside. Bowman blocks the dunk.
And as we speak of Kai Bowman and we talk about energy and effort, none greater than a point guard with 2 fouls coming over to get a clean block on the dunk of a 6'11" Stephen Enoch. I knew that one was clean for the other side. Now, again, maybe he had a hand on the body down low. And he immediately tells Jim Christian, I understand, I've got 3 fouls. I'm good. But how many 6'1", and I do that with my fingers in air
there's
quotes.
definite air quotes in the 6'1".
Because he's taller than that. But how many guards go over and have a late start challenge a 7-footer basically at the rim?
I mean,
and win. He won.
He won.
He won that one.
He won that. Yeah. By the way, Enoch's got a new season high. He has got 18 in the ball game now, surpassing the 17 he had in the Cards' marquee win. And that's the victory, the runaway win at Chapel Hill earlier in the year. And there's Bowman on cue with his 3rd field goal. Now, he only has 8 points in the ball game so far with 12:42 to play. And there's a lost bounce and dribble by B.J. King. And Chris Mack, who is by the way, named one of the 15 finalists for the Naismith National Coach of the Year today. There are 4 ACC coaches on that list.
I did see that. And going in, Kai Bowman starts to heat up, and just that one opportunity, getting to the rim, build some confidence on Bowman, and then getting him right into his rhythm, into his shooting pocket as Boston College takes the 1-point lead.
Yep. Bowman now 6.5, 11 in the game. He's had 5 games or 20 or more against the league. McMahon answers.
And that's a young man that has been shooting a hot basketball. 4 3-pointers versus Virginia, 12 points for him. He was one of the very few cards that really shot the basketball well.
2-point lead for Louisville after McMahon's 3 ball. Jarris Hamilton trying to find a square up, and he rattles it. First points for the Charlotte freshman.
He has that ability, though. Jarris Hamilton, a very good shooter, and he's really going to flourish in this system for Jim Christian as he develops and becomes an upperclassman with this group. Going to be one of the better players in the ACC.
Well, we've waited around for the offense, Corey, and it's arrived. Here's Enoch. He was getting ready to take the basket and 2 or 3 other innocent people with him.
That was the fact that he felt disrespected that Kai Bowman jumped with him, so therefore he wanted to make sure no one stuck their hand in the rim that time.
B.J. King, a nice spot-up jumper. He's got 5. Louisville back in front of point. We go into 11 to play.
2 starters on the floor for Louisville, and Cunningham and Sutton. And then 3 reserves as Bowman is looking to get hot.
Rebounded by Enoch.
This Louisville team definitely has a heavy rotation.
Cunningham, the runner.
I thought that was going to be a lot.
I did too.
You saw Enoch coming over there. I thought that would have been an easy play to get him a bucket.
Bowman's starting to feel it, Corey. He'll take Cunningham on the bounce. Draw the foul. Free throws coming up. Well, Stephen Enoch now, he had the axe and was going chopping big wood.
You talk about mean intense. Is this right here? I dare you stick your hand in front of that rim.
Louisville a 1-point lead at 42-41. Time for tonight's CPI security protecting the paint.
Kai Bowman has 14 blocks on the year. He was denied his 15, but probably his most impressive block shot attempt, considering the challenge that he took on that one.
Where was the foul? I'm just trying to get you fired up.
I'm not going to say anything. You know the officials are my friends.
They're mine too.
Got a great group here tonight.
Bowman is at the line after the foul on Cunningham. Took us to the timeout.
You know what? I need to see which one of the officials was underneath there on that called that, so I can give them a very hard time.
Boston College now 6 of 8 at the line. Bowman is 2 for 3. Here in the second half.
Michael Stevens just gave me a look. I'm thinking it might have been him. It might have been Michael Stevens underneath there. He knows that he might have missed out.
Bowman missed the back end, so the ball game locked up at 42 as we reach the midway point here of this second half. Louisville has won 6 straight in the series, including the 10-point decision at the Yum Center in mid-January. Williams has spelled Enoch during the timeout. And Malik left it on the rim, but Wara fights for the rebound. Stick back blocked by Popovich, and here's Jared Hamilton and BC in transition. Bowman behind the head. Popovich missed it, missed the second one. Third try, blocked away by Darius Perry. Wara, McMahon. Some kind of pass by Bowman.
That's supposed to be on SportsCenter tonight. Nick Popovich blew it. At the end of the day, that would be a tremendous highlight if Popovich finishes that off.
Williams, Popovich both fall down.
Now that I have never seen. That is new.
Out front for the lead.
I've heard of a guy making the defender fall, but I've never seen the actual offensive player and the defender both fall at the same time.
Chris Mack looks exasperated at the scorer's table tonight. 3-point lead for Louisville after the triple from Wara.
And Chris Mack recognizing that Kai Bowman was starting to feel it, brings in Darius Perry.
Hamilton to miss three, couldn't run down the loose change. It'll belong to the Cards. Here you go, CA.
Well, I tell you right now, you see, I'm not going to call this the beautiful game. Two guys, both of them broke each other's ankles on that possession. Malik Williams, the ball handler, drops Nick Popovich and then drops himself. But a beautiful feed from Kai Bowman. And Popovich just unable to finish that. You know, that whole segment right there could have Popovich on the not top 10 here very soon.
8.5 to go. 3-point lead for Louisville after the Wara triple a moment ago. Tried to squeeze through traffic, and the foul is going to be on Jordan Chapman, the grad student from the Pacific Northwest, his first, 4 now on Boston College here in this second half.
And Wes, you know, right now 8:26 remaining in this game. Louisville with the 3-point lead.
Look at that. Perry finds Wara.
And Hamilton just fell asleep on that play. You know, Wara using his size advantage to be able to finish that one over the top. But this is around that time when, if you're Louisville, you've got to get some separation, because we've talked about how they've struggled to finish games here as of late.
Popovich scores on the Bowman delivery that time. 13 now for Nick Popovich.
But you see the way that Kai Bowman is having such an impact on this game without scoring points. He hasn't been a big scorer tonight, but still having tremendous impact.
Strong take, Enoch. And Stephen Enoch is having a night. He's now got 20 in the ball game. Louisville's lead is 5 as we approach 7.5 to go. Popovich at 3, sure.
And that's the way Popovich can fight back versus Enoch, who's going to have the advantage on the block. Nick Popovich is capable of knocking down that 3 as well, stretching the defense.
Wara, went for another big hammer, couldn't finish it. Perry right back down the lane, and Enoch was looking for it, but it was last touched by Boston College. It will stay with the Cards, who've got a 2-point advantage. 7 minutes, 7 seconds to go tonight at Chestnut Hill. 2-point game, Louisville up on Boston College. Nick Popovich has helped the Eagles inside tonight.
Nick Popovich with 16 points, 8 rebounds. Has been special on the interior, doing a great job finding the open spot when Kai Bowman is playing pick and roll, and then, of course, the ability to knock down the 3. Popovich 7 for 15 from the field, has been very aggressive, and, of course, has his hands full on the defensive end of the floor, dealing with Enoch and Williams as well. So giving Nick Popovich a lot of credit, showing up big for the Eagles here tonight.
Both these teams are under 30% in the first half, shooting from the floor. Both are above 40 here in the second half. But neither team above 35 for the ball game. So it has been a struggle. Louisville's got 9 turnovers, but they lead the boards by 16, Corey. They've got 15 offensive rebounds as Wara can't finish on the turn. And Bowman another rebound. Kai Bowman now with 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 12 points. Make it 12 as it rattles out on the foul.
Well, Kai Bowman had 14 points and 13 rebounds in the first matchup between these two teams, and he's working on another double-double here. And does a great job attacking, and then the spin move forcing Jordan Wara to come over and foul him as Wara picks up his 3rd.
2 shots for Kai Bowman, who is 2 for 4 at the line. Boston College 6 of 9. And the free throw, no good. The Eagles come in at 70.1 in league play, which is 12th. We told you Louisville, the best free throw shooting team in ACC play at about 78%. They're 8 of 11 tonight. Not a lot of free throws in the ball game as Bowman gets the back end. Got 8.5 and now 13 in the ball game to go with the 9 rebounds and the 8 assists. A rebound and 2 assists from a triple-double.
Yeah, we've seen him do it before, and you remember now Popovich messed up 1 assist, the easy one. He's had a couple of chippies that his teammates didn't make, so he could already have over 10 assists in this game.
Yep. Perry with 10 to shoot. Lost it on the dribble. In a 1-point game, Darius Perry and Quan Four trying to give Chris Mack a couple of minutes to get some guys a breather on the bench, and here comes Dwayne Sutton in to replace Perry. Bowman working against Four. Chapman's been quiet here tonight.
Well, he's taken a number of ill-advised shots trying to get to the rim.
Popovich another? No. Rebound for Warren.
A little concerned about Chapman as he runs back. It seems as though he's favoring that hand.
Here goes Hamilton, and he's fouled on the play. Cunningham, I think, got him on the flyby. And that'll be 2 on Kristen Cunningham.
Great play by Hamilton there, picking up the steal. Looks as though Jordan Chapman favoring that hand. He missed his last game at Clemson.
We had the finger injury where he had a split in the crease.
Right, he had to cut, but then he actually missed the last game with a hyperextended finger.
Yep. That happened against NC State in Raleigh, and he missed Saturday's game that you were a part of down at Clemson, and now Chapman comes out of the game.
And it is that index finger that he injured before. So you could tell he was favoring it after that last possession when he attacked the basket.
Jared Hamilton, just a 56% free throw shooter. Corey, the ball, I don't know if you've noticed this, when Hamilton releases it, the ball turns off center in the rotation.
I wasn't as observant as you on that.
I'm just pointing it out to you because I know how you see shots sometimes.
Yeah. No, I like the way you analyze that thing. Checking it out, shot doctor.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Tie game with 5.5 to go. 4 with 4 to shoot. Runner. Rebound Bowman. Look ahead for Hamilton. To the basket. Missed the scoop. Quan Four the other way. Fouled by Jarris Hamilton. 5 now on Boston College. And Jim Christian, his team has missed some opportunities tonight.
They really have. And of course, that was a good opportunity for Hamilton. Give Louisville credit for getting back defensively and contesting the shot. But with his athleticism, he definitely can finish that opportunity, but also an opportunity for BC to regain the lead. Even with the missed free throws. We saw Bowman miss one and Hamilton both missed one of their last 2 trips to the free throw line where they could have a lead already.
5:05 to play. Enoch a 3. Mitchell.
Enoch can make that shot. BC fortunate because leaving him open as though he can't make it was a big-time mistake.
Popovich turns with the left hand. Boston College wanted a foul, didn't get a whistle with 4:40 to go. Here's Cunningham now. And we're getting a little late at Chestnut Hill in a tie game.
We started a little late at Chestnut Hill. It was 9 o'clock tip.
4. Baseline blocked. Hamilton.
Great play by Hamilton. But BC has numbers right now. They got to take advantage of it.
Bowman the scoop. Eagles lead. Four minutes to go. Cunningham to answer and does. First field goal for Kristen Cunningham comes with 3:48 to play here tonight at Conte Forum, Corey.
Jared Hamilton coming up with a block on one end of the floor. And Kai Bowman taking advantage of having numbers in transition, getting to the rim as we have ourselves a ball game.
With Corey Alexander, Wes Durham, our producer tonight, Jay Hoover, our director, Ken Neal, all the good folks on our ACC Hoops crew at the Conti Forum here on the campus of Boston College. Locked up at 51, 3:45 to go. There have been 23% of the league games have been 5 or less. We've had 7 overtime games. We get that close tonight, we'll see. Bowman the miss, Mitchell the rebound and a reset for the Eagles. Popovich driving for the lead and draws the foul from Stephen Enoch. That'll be the first by my count on Enoch. 5 here on the Cards in the second half.
Nice play by Popovich, recognizing Louisville would jump that dribble handoff. Gets his shoulders past Enoch, doesn't get the bucket, but does pick up the foul, but puts Enoch on notice that he's going to be aggressive the remaining 3:26 of this one.
Chapman, nice catch and shot for the lead.
Good to see Jordan Chapman back into the basketball game. BC is a better team with him on the floor. His ability to shoot the three allows for driving lanes for Kai Bowman, and of course makes it difficult to help on Popovich.
And now Bowman stole it from Wara. Here's Bowman trying to get there, and it got deflected from behind him into the hands of Enoch. Here's 4 the other way. Now Cunningham back for Quan 4, and Enoch follows it.
Jim Christian wanting offensive goaltending on that possession.
22 for Enoch. Tied at 53. Bowman for the lead. Is that what you call high volume?
That's what I call high quality. I love it. When you're the best player on the floor and you know it, you take matters into your hands.
Hamilton to the basket. The lead is 5. First field goal tonight for Jared Hamilton. 2 minutes to go, and the Cards, who have lost 2 straight and 4 of their last 5, are wobbling with 2:01 to go, Corey.
Defense turning into offense. The steal allows Mitchell to get out in transition, finds Hamilton, who's able to finish over Jordan Wara to extend the lead to 5 for the Boston College Eagles here, who are starting to feel a victory on their home floor. 2:01 remaining, a long time to go in this game. But Wes, you and I have talked about the fact that Louisville has had a very difficult time finishing games as of late.
Yep.
And right now, if you're the Cards, does it come into your mind? Are you starting to second-guess yourself as this game has gotten tight toward the end?
Well, Chris Mack, who's got an outstanding staff, you know, he's got the former Wake head coach Dino Gaudio, who's been great to see him back in the coaching game. But Luke Murray and Mike Pegues have also done a really nice job in this first-year transition. All of that, they got to sort this out. This has been a uncharacteristic night for the Cards in just about every facet. But Corey, you're down 5 with 2:01 to go. And you got 1 timeout left.
Well, the one thing that we haven't seen is a huge performance from Jordan Wara. We talked about 32 points for him versus BC in the previous game. And right now, he has not been able to find a rhythm on the offensive end of the floor. Give Boston College tremendous credit for really keeping Wara in check. My last count, 11 points for Wara on only 4 of 10 shooting, so you got to give Boston College a lot of credit. A number of guys have drawn that assignment. Is Jared Hamilton right now.
McMahon, baseline, bumped and fouled by Chapman. It'll be the second on Chapman and 6 on Boston College. So baseline out of bounds coming up for the Cards.
And right now, this is where you have to be very careful if you're Boston College. Make sure there's no easy lob right over the top underneath out of bounds. Pay attention to who you're guarding and their positioning, not to give up an easy deuce.
Here is Warren. Enoch. 13 to shoot. Well, Sutton had a notion. McMahon a triple. Rebound for Sutton. Back to Enoch. 90 seconds to go. Louisville trailing by 5. Sutton a 3. And the rebound from Mitchell. And they quickly get it to Kyle Bowman. Stephon Mitchell, not a particularly strong free throw shooter, and for that matter, neither is Jared Hamilton, who's on the floor here for BC.
Well, regardless, if I'm BC, I want the ball in Zero's hands for the entire shot clock. Whether he takes a shot or he kicks it to someone at the end, I want him being the guy that makes the play.
Popovich will take the pass. And right back for Bowman. Attacking Enoch. Draws the foul. Foul on Stephen Enoch, his second. 6 now on the cards, but a couple of free throws for Kyle Bowman.
And this is when Kyle Bowman is really a difference maker, when he decides that he's not going to be denied his opportunities at the rim. He can take threes anytime, shoots the ball well off the bounce, but when he puts his mind to getting to the rim, I don't believe that, there are very many defenses in the country. And Virginia, of course, is going to keep the lane clogged up. Outside of that, I think if he's not attacking the basket, he's really shorting himself and his team because it's difficult to keep him out of that paint. And you see he's a willing passer. He does so much damage to opponents once he gets in that paint.
19 now for Bowman. As that one makes it a 6-point game. This turns it into a 3-possession game, Corey. With under a minute to go, it's 60 to 53. Cunningham. Enoch. 3 away. Bowman the rebound, and he'll hold on here.
And right now, Louisville has to recognize the 3-possession game, as you mentioned. They've got a foul.
Yep, and there's the foul in the backcourt. And the 1-and-1 coming for Bowman on the Sutton foul. 18 to 6 is the run now by the host Eagles. So here is Bowman with his 6th game of the year of 20 or more against the league.
And if it was just 20, it'd be one thing. But 20, 21 now, 11 boards, 8 assists, an all-around performance for Kyle Bowman. Looking at his numbers, and when you see the company that he's in ACC history, it is pretty special company when you get the names of Grant Hill, Bob Sura. I mean, special company.
Cunningham, the layup, timeout. Chris Mack, second field goal for Kristen Cunningham. And Chris Mack's out of timeouts now, Corey, with 34.2 left.
And Boston College, it's too early to just give twos. There's still way too much time. It needs to be a little more of a defensive effort on that possession, allowing Louisville to score too quickly and too easily, and then a timeout to set up their defense.
So 2 timeouts for Jim Christian's team. You see that. Possession arrow favors Louisville as well. For the Cards, who've lost 2 straight, 4 of their last 5. And by the way, Notre Dame to the Yum Center on Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, you'll see the Eagles in Atlanta at Georgia Tech, who lost tonight by 30 at Charlottesville.
Wes, it's really a shame when you look at this Boston College team, and not that they've won this game, but in very good position right now if they handle the basketball and make their free throws at the end, to come away, which would be their 5th ACC win. With Winston Tabbs on the floor.
And he's on the bench tonight, by the way.
I believe that this team could have probably gotten to at least 9 ACC wins, which would have them in the mix to get an NCAA tournament bid.
And Mitchell calls a timeout. The 5-second count was in its last swing. And so that leaves Boston College with 1. And so Jim Christian, 3-3 at home, and a win against Florida State in this building. You've seen the win against Miami. He's trying to get his 4th win at home with Carolina calling next Saturday
They have an overtime loss here on this floor to Hartford in a game where Kyle Bowman goes for 44 points without Winston Tabbs.
Right.
You win that game most likely with Tabbs on your roster. Tabbs has missed now, I believe this is his 11th straight game. The 2 games that he's played in the ACC, that 1-1, that Florida State win, he was a part of.
Right.
But by adding him to this lineup, and of course, Stephon Mitchell missed 3 games.
Yep.
Popovich missed a couple games with concussion protocol. They've had a bunch of injuries. If they could have kept this team healthy all year, I think they had a very good chance.
Here's the long outlet, and Bowman is fouled by Cunningham. And John Gaffney will whistle Kristen Cunningham for his 3rd. The former high school wide receiver from Havelock, North Carolina, put the go route on him.
You look at it, that would have been the 15-yard variety right there, pass interference. You know all about that. You used to call those.
Spot of the foul.
Absolutely.
First down. Now, the question here is, John Gaffney and Brian Dorsey going to have a look at this to see if Cunningham impeded the progress, held or grabbed Bowman, and if he did, they may add a 1.
I tell you what, if he was able to do that with any level of intent, then that would have been a great play on Cunningham's play. I couldn't see anywhere. That was simply just feet getting tangled up and a fall.
So Bowman is 6 of 9 at the line, and he will get a 1-1 here.
I'm glad the officials did a great job of not spending much time on that one. There was nothing there. Cunningham was simply just trying to get back into the play.
I'm going to give you the old 2-possession, 3-possession deal here with 34-2 left. It's a 6-point game. Front end of this 1-1 is pretty big. And Bowman made it.
And you mentioned that. You go back to of course, the infamous comeback Duke had against Louisville.
Right.
Louisville went 10 for 13 in the game from the free throw line. We talked about how well they shoot free throws. But during that run where Duke was able to come back, they missed the front end of 3 1-1. So that was 6 potential points that they did not get, which could have really gotten them over the top at the end of that game.
Popovich has come out. Jarris Hamilton's on the floor. Final 32 seconds here. 8-point lead at 63-55, and Cunningham lost it off his foot on the dribble. I think Chris Mack in Louisville were hoping tonight that they could get through the middle wall. And it's a brick wall right now that they've got to get through.
It really is, and you can see just, how many times have we seen a player kick the ball off his foot, lost it out of bounds, the silly turnovers that they've had, in comparison to Boston College, who's handled the basketball extremely well in this game.
And there's a timeout taken. BC uses their last timeout. And everybody is out of timeouts now. And Kyle Bowman, 18 of his 23 here in the second half.
And he's done a tremendous job finding his teammates, being a facilitator, and also aggressively attacking the basket. A huge second half for Bowman as he's put his team on his back and carried them very close to the finish line.
So now with 27.4 left to go, Boston College leading 63-55. And the Eagles using their last timeout. And the Eagles, we mentioned with Bowman having a big second half. And Boston College has protected the basketball too, Corey.
Absolutely. Only 4 turnovers on the evening for Boston College compared to 14 for Louisville. And that's been a difference in this game. Boston College continues to get quality shots. Right. And where Louisville's had those turnovers and given away those opportunities. And Wes, we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Chris Mack has seen his team go into the Dean Dome and beat a top 10 North Carolina team. He's also seen them lose on the road at Pittsburgh. And coming into this game,
here's inbound Mitchell. Exchange with Popovich. There's a foul by 4 against Jared Hamilton.
But coming into this game, Wes, 9 of 10 Louisville's losses have come to teams that have been ranked at some point during the season. So they played a very good schedule. They played a very good schedule. They played tough opponents. This will be the only, most likely, second loss that they have to a team that has not been in the rankings this year. But you can tell from the beginning of this game, Louisville never really approached this game with a sense of urgency. And that's what's frustrating to Chris Mack because, of course, in this league, there are no gimmies. When you go play on an opponent's home court in the ACC, it's tough sledding.
Wara tripped up and fouled with 17.8 to go, and it's on Bowman. It'll be his fourth. 7 on Boston College, which means 1-1 for Jordan Wara here. Corey, the other thing about this is Louisville has Notre Dame on Sunday and then a week off before Virginia. The last thing, and you know this better than anybody else, Wara gets the front end. You don't want to go to Charlotte on a skid. And Notre Dame is dangerous. And Prentice Hubb's playing well. T.J. Gibbs gives them something. John Mooney's a double-double waiting to walk through the door. And another team that's been dealing with injuries like BC.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I'm with you. But the one thing that you don't want, more so than going into Virginia on a skid, is going into a week of practice with Chris Mack.
On a skid.
On a skid?
Yeah.
That could be difficult for the Cards right there because, again, I love Chris Mack as a coach, but he values toughness.
Yep.
And if you're not going to have toughness, you're going to have a hard time playing for him. And he knows how to practice and instill toughness in a practice. And I believe that with this Louisville team is going to see a lot of that over the next couple of weeks.
24 now for Bowman. Make it 25. Wow. What a second half for Kyle Bowman. 20 of his 25 in half two. Sutton gets the bucket. 12 seconds left. They got to get it in bounds. What a catch by Mitchell. And a foul by Cunningham after a great catch by Mitchell. And Jarris Hamilton.
But give Jarris Hamilton a lot of credit because he looked to Michael Stevens to call a timeout and then remembered that he doesn't have one. So throws it long. And Mitchell, posting up.
54% free throw shooter is the sophomore from Shakopee, Minnesota, Stephon Mitchell. Corey, you mentioned the knee problem he has in this 3 ball games. Couple that with Tabs' chronic knee situation, although Winston did get a brief workout here tonight. And to be honest with you, was moving around okay. I wouldn't say game ready. If there's a chance Winston Tabs can come back for this team, I know it's one of your guys. I know that's one of you guys.
Of course.
But I'll say this, he changed it. When he was in their event at Fort Myers earlier this year, he was in that big win against Minnesota. He changes the dynamic of who Kyle Bowman is, too.
He really does. Kyle Bowman is even better with Winston Tabs beside him.
Sutton missed on the 3, and Boston College is going to snap a 2-game skid. The Eagles pick up win 14, win 5 in the ACC for Jim Christian. Big night for Kyle Bowman, Corey.
It was. Kyle Bowman in this second half showed why he's one of the ACC's best as he put his team on his shoulders, did it all, rebounding, passing, everything that you could ask for from zero and white. He got it done for the Eagles.
66-59, the final tonight.